Hi, I'm Sybrina Fulton, and this is my life coach.
Hi, I'm Monique Edwards-Braddy, and I'm Sybrina Fulton's life coach. And I want to be your life coach. When you're getting calls from other mothers, what is the biggest issue that you're having when they ask you questions or try to confide in you?
For the most part, they want me to help with their healing process. And I don't know if I'm helping with their healing process, but what I certainly could do is tell them what I did, some of the things that worked for me, and hopefully that helps them.
Okay. And being that you and I have been friends for at least, we met in 2011. And we met prior to you losing Trayvon. So when I started reaching out to you, and you were reluctant at first because this was like you getting through the shock of your life. So when I did penetrate, what was it? What was that moment for you when you said, you know what? I do need someone to talk to?
Because I was a Miami-Dade County employee. And so through the county, I was able to, I was referred to a grief counselor. Mm-hmm. And I did work with a grief counselor, but I really think it was too soon that I started talking to him. And he was an African-American man, and I would just go there and cry. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I got anything achieved. I don't think, the grieving process had even started at that time because I wasn't even comfortable talking to him. And so I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't even say anything. He would ask me questions, but I wouldn't say anything because I didn't feel comfortable. And so when you reached out to me, we already had a relationship. So it was like, it was easy to talk to you. It wasn't as if I was in therapy. It wasn't as if I was going to a psychiatrist or any of those things. It felt like a natural conversation. And so I found myself talking to you more and opening up a little more because I felt comfortable. And that's the thing, you have to feel comfortable with talking to the person that is counseling you. So I look at it as, you being a life coach and me being a life coach, and life coaches sometimes need a life coach. Sure. And so that's how I was able to talk a lot of the things out.
Okay. So what would you think is the biggest obstacle now when mothers are calling you? What do you want them to know about this whole practice of having coaching?
I would want them to know that they can feel comfortable with talking to someone. It wasn't as if you were, had a pen and a pad and you were writing things down. It just felt natural. And so they have to find somebody that they're comfortable with talking to. And it doesn't matter where. It could be in their home. It could be in an office. It could be at a coffee shop. Just as long as some of those feelings that you're feeling on the inside are brought out and the person that you're talking to is certified, that they're educated in that field, and they're able to help you. They're able to help you make sure that you're on the right track as far as the grieving process is concerned, and that you're moving forward. Mm-hmm. And I can feel myself sometimes when I'm going backwards. I can feel myself, and I kind of nudge myself to go a little further.
So would you recommend that coaching be a part of the lives of people who have several losses or one loss or any type of loss? Would you recommend this as being an avenue for healing?
I think everybody who has, and I'm not just going to say a child, because a child is the most severe loss that you can that you can experience. Like, to lose a child is the ultimate loss. Because you feel like your child has not lived their life, their life to the fullest capacity. You felt like they were taken too soon. And so I just feel like it's just a missing part in your heart that when you lose a child, that you definitely have to seek counseling. Mm-hmm. I feel like when you lose a loved one, that missing part is a void in your life, and you have to learn how to fill that void with other things that are beneficial to you, because we can feel that void with negative things and detrimental things to ourselves. And so it's always good to talk to somebody to kind of talk things out. And so I just thank God for you, because I didn't have to figure all of those things out myself. You kind of guided me through the process.
Well, it's a pleasure, definitely, to even have the opportunity to be able to help you. And I mean, meeting you the way we did, I had already had this fondness, like, this is my girl, you know? So it felt more natural, and it's even better to see how this process has aided you in your walk ever since. So right now, in this time, especially in this time of loss, and we are still in the cloud of hope, there are so many people who are just losing loved ones, not just to say their own child, but there is so much loss happening in the world today. And as a certified abundant life coach, I feel that this is the time that people need to break the stigma of feeling like, oh, something's wrong with me if I talk to somebody. No, there's something right with you if you make that choice. Because what you're saying is that you're choosing to save your life. You're choosing your mental health, just like your physical health is important. You go to the doctor, you get your heart checked, you want to check your diabetes, you want to make sure your hypertension ain't wrong. All of these things are being checked, but nobody thinks that the mental health is just as important, if not more, because your mental health actually is your wealth. You lose your mind, what they say? I don't want to lose my mind. I don't want to lose my mind.
No.
So having a safe place to vent, having someone that listens, that has tried and true suggestions, and a professional, that's even better, because now you know that, you know, there's nothing really wrong with me. Oh my goodness, she made me feel validated. She made me feel confirmed. That's sometimes all we need, is somebody to just listen.
Absolutely. And give us some direction.
Absolutely.
Because most of the time what we're experiencing, we have not been there, you know, with the loss of a child.
Mm-hmm.
We might have been there. We might have lost a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, or sometimes a friend. But to lose a child is just a whole nother level. And so I definitely recommend counseling. I definitely recommend therapy. I don't even know where I would be without it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it just keeps everything in proper perspective, and it lets me know that there's nothing wrong with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I am definitely happy and privileged to be your coach, and also to be able to provide services for other people, other mothers out there, other people who are dealing with the loss. Getting from denial to acceptance is a journey in itself. And some people don't make it to acceptance in the time they think they should, but there is no time limit on that. People have to take their own walk, their own journey at different times. And you'll know when you get there. You'll get there when you can feel that joy, that peace that only God can bring. When was that moment for you, if it ever came, of acceptance? Did you ever get there, or are you still on that journey?
No, I think that I'm past that particular part with acceptance. I think there was a time where I blamed God, and I'm not afraid to say it. A lot of people, you know, they apologize because they blame God, and I'm just a human being. I'm human, and I have natural emotions, and one of the emotions was, you know, how could God let this happen? And so I struggled for a little bit with God, just not knowing if God was there or not when Trayvon was killed. And so God worked on me, and he did, and I asked for strength, and he gave it to me, and I asked for understanding, and he gave it to me. And it was a moment. I can remember I was in my purple room, you know, my bedroom, and I was just crying. And I just asked God for understanding, just help me move past where I am, you know, because, and I tell people, you know, that I was happy 95% of my life, you know, and then this tragedy happens, and then you lost. It's like you on a road that you've never been on. And so I blame God. I blame God for the way I was feeling, for the sadness, for the disappointment, for all of those things. I blame God. And he told me I will never leave nor forsake you. And he told me, just stand on my word, just trust me. And I did. And it took me a while. It took me some time to really realize, exactly what happened, and to understand that that Trayvon was God's child first before he was mine. And I just didn't understand, why would you give him to me and take him away at 17, And so my understanding and my plans are not God's plans, and I just had to trust God and believe that he was doing what was real and what was right. And I've always, I grew up in a church that told you God makes no mistakes. And so I just had to trust God and believe in him. You asked a lot of challenging questions to make me think about what I was going through and think about where I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And I did not want to be where I was, and that was sad, that was depressed, that was disappointed, that was angry. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to be there, but I didn't know how to come away from the street that I was on. I didn't know how to get out of the hole that I was in. And so you asked a lot of challenging questions that made me think about, why I was there and why I was still there. And the hardest part is just getting people like me, to talk.
Absolutely.
Because we have it all in our head. It's just that to say it means something else. It's like, okay, I felt it, but I didn't say it. But when you feel it and you say it, it means something different. And so it kind of is a cleansing as you say it. Mm-hmm. Because you can keep a lot of things in your head, but if you don't manifest what you're saying, then it means nothing. And so I have to write down things. I have to say things out loud, and I have to put things in the universe in order for me to get past it and to continue to progress. It's been 9 years for me, and I'm still grieving, but I understand that. I understand that I'll be grieving the rest of my life because my son is not here, and so I just feel like, I'll probably be talking to you the rest of my life, so that I'll make sure that I stay on the right track.
And that's the thing that I'm trying to really solidify in expressing the importance, is that we're all on a journey. No one has it together. I'm a WIP, that means a woman in progress. I'm still going through pains of my own and struggles of my own. And we need to have a continuation of coaching. People think that once you've gone through a program or a process, that's it. You're on self-pilot. No, it's one of my clients told me last week, Monique, you like going to church. It's like I got the good word in when I talked to you, and then when I didn't have you anymore, I missed you. I really need you. I didn't realize how much I needed you until I didn't have you, and have that instruction and have that guidance. And it's so great to know that you have that safe space, that place that you can be heard. And what you were saying, you were feeling catharsis. That means when you get it out and say it, that's that cathartic feeling. Like, ooh, I said it. I have a motto: if it ain't read, it ain't said. When you said you write things down, we just can't remember things all the time. We are not as sharp as we used to be.
Right.
So even accountability tools. I have my phone that reminds me I have an appointment in the next 15 minutes. Or next 3 minutes it's coming. Because you will get sidetracked in the life that we live. And that's why having a coach that helps you with accountability. Because I tell people, I will be that coach that stay in your ass like a bicycle without a seat. And that's what they need. You've heard the story. You know what coaching is all about. Sybrina has given you all the information that I think that will be helpful to you in making a decision to do coaching. I can take you from denial to acceptance. I can handle a range of issues that you may be dealing with. I am Sybrina Fulton's coach, Monique Braddy,